Hey, this is Steph. So today I just wanted to show you how I made this really cute pop-up card in a box. Super simple to make. Tie it. So for this particular one, I used some retired paper along with some current colored cardstock. The front cover is, I believe, hand penned petals. And you'll see in the inside as I unfold, there's a couple different patterns. So you've got this pink gingham, and that was from a 12 by 12 paper pack, I believe, called Gingham Cottage. And then same thing with the gray in the background. That was from that same Gingham Cottage, or Cottage Gingham might be what it's called. And then I used a combination of Blushing Bride and Mint Macaron. Those colors were part of the hand-penned pack. So you can see as you unfold this, it's an all-in-one, kind of like an accordion style, and then stamped. I'm just gonna squeeze this in so you can see I've got happy here, and then the last section is let's celebrate you. Those are also from some retired stamp sets. Sweet strawberries, and I think Hey Birthday Chick is what I used. I liked how the font was, and then I just wanted something that just kind of, I guess, called out what we were doing. And my mistake, I said sweet strawberries. It's actually sweet ice cream. And I used this one, just the happy. And then on the Hey Birthday Chick, I used the Let's Celebrate You. All right, so let me show you everything that you need to make this. So I've already pre-cut and scored. So I'm going to start with, you're going to need a 12 by 12 piece of DSP or a combination of DSPs. I decided to pull in a couple different patterns like I did on the first one. So regardless of what you end up choosing, you're going to need two pieces that measure 4 by 12 and one piece that measures 4 by 5. And those are both from the Cottage Gingham paper pack. This is a mint macaron color. Then you're going to need colors for your boxes, and I decided to go back and forth between Coastal Cabana and Balmy Blue. So for your bottom of the box, you're going to need a piece that measures 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. So that is this piece. And then for the top of the box, for your lid, you're going to need slightly bigger at 5 7/8 by 7 3/4. For both of these, you're going to score at 3 3/4 and 1.5 on all four sides. So you can see the score lines going all the way around, and then you can see how the bottom piece is just slightly, it's just that 1/8 of an inch bigger, and that makes a huge difference for your lid fitting properly on top of the box. And then you're going to need 8 pieces of Designer Series paper, and all 8 pieces need to measure 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And I have chose 2 different patterns here, and this is from a different paper pack. Again, I'm using retired products, and this one is called Dandy Design 12 by 12. And so it was a bunch of different colors. I like these packs. I decided, instead of doing the new products, I really wanted to try to use up some of the old stuff to give these out. Along with that, you're going to need your word birthday. And this was done using the retired large letters dies. You could use your Cricut, you could use adhesive, stickers, or whatever dies that you have for letters. And I chose to alternate the colors as well. So half the words will be in Coastal Cabana and half the letters is Balmy Blue, and then I'm just going to alternate the pattern. Along with that, you'll need 2 more pieces of DSP, slightly larger, and those are 3 3/4. I think these are also by 2 1/4. I'll double check when we start assembling. And then we're going to need a piece of, actually 2 pieces of cardstock, and these measure 4 by 2 1/2. So I just gotta figure out where my other one went. So I did one in Balmy Blue and one in Coastal Cabana. And those are gonna go on the outside of the box. And then 2 more, and I did those at 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then you need 2 pieces of basic white or very vanilla, whatever neutral kind of goes along with the paper you're using. And these are 3 1/2 by 2. So let me just figure out where my Coastal Cabana went really quick here. And then we'll assemble. Because it doesn't matter how prepared you are, there's always something that you stand to miss. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer really quick and quickly cut. Oops. Alrighty. Okay, bear with me. 2 1/2 by 4. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the background and pull out those strips. All right, so these are all scored within 2 1/2 inches. So from the 5, so this is 5 by 4, you're going to score it in half at 2 1/2. So I'm just going to close and fold this. And you can use your bone folder. I'm just doing a slight fold because when I start to assemble it, that is when I'll burnish the score line a little bit better. And then on the 4 by 12 pieces, you're going to score this on your long edge, which is 12, and you're going to score it at 2 1/2, 5, 7 1/2, and 10. So this gives you a smaller piece on 2 pieces of paper, and that's where we're going to assemble these 2 together. Okay, so I am going to slightly fold just so I know where everything is going to meet. Okay, so we're going to start here with this small section. So this would have been your 10-inch score line, leaving you 2 inches here. On the second piece, that's 4 by 12, I'm going to take the section that is up to the 2 1/2 score line. So, and slightly fold all of these. It just makes lining things up a smidge easier. You can modify this project to fit, you know, any size words that you want. There is extra room within the box. So if you added something extra, it will certainly fit. So I am just using my regular adhesive. You could use liquid. You could use your tear and tape. And then I'm just lining this piece up to that score line. And then I'm going to take this section, which is the 2-inch section, off that second piece that I just attached. And I'm going to do the same thing with the 4 by 5. So I'm going to add my adhesive here. And then I'm going to line it up to that score line. Okay. Now, I'm going to do an accordion fold. So I want to go up on the score line, down, up, down, up, down. And just continue all the way down. And this is where, if you want, you can push it down. I don't know, I'm a little leery when I'm dealing with DSP and scoring it, because if you press too tight on those score lines, you can actually rip the paper. But the important thing is you want your two end pieces to be popped up for how they're going to fit in the box. So now I'm going to set that aside. We're going to deal with the lid and the box. So I think this one is the bottom. And for this one, I am just going to burnish all of these score lines. Now this is going to have like a double side wall for a little bit of stability. You can skip that if that is not overly important to you. I just like that it makes the box so that, you know, seem a little bit tighter. Super simple on the cuts. So I like to go up on the shorter edges. Okay, so this is your 5, and for this one I think 5 3/4. This would be your 7 1/4 side. So now I'm going to flip it. I'm going to cut up. You can do this all at once, like finish one side off before you turn to the other side, but this way, like, I don't mess up, because sometimes I've turned and I'll start cutting like along the long edge, and then it just kind of messes when you're putting it together. So let's go back. So I don't need this outside section. So this little section here. So I'm going to trim that off, and in doing so, I'm creating a little edge there. I'm going to make this one slightly shorter. And then I'm going to just angle in just a smidge and make sure that, so when you close the box, it's a little bit easier. And then I'm going to snip that side, snip that side. So we have like the little angles right there. And it just makes it easier when you're closing the box up. So then I'll just repeat. Cut this outside section off to a little bit of an angle. Snip this a little shorter. All right, and give those a little edge. Flip it around. And you're going to cut your lid exactly the same way. Okay. Just repeating the process. Making sure to give a little angle on everything. Pop this one off. Okay. Snip that a little bit shorter. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does help the box to close. So I'm just making sure I've got all my angles cut. And I'm going to repeat on the lid the same thing. Now again, use whatever adhesive you prefer. Like I said, I'm just using the regular Stamp and Seal. I also have the Tombow adhesive that I might use if I run out of my Stamp and Seal. So again, I'm just, oops, sorry, I have a cat yelling at me because she is trying to jump up on my workstation and I can't let her. Life's difficult. All right. I just want to do this so I make sure not to mess up the sides that I want to cut. Okay, so let's flip back. This one a little, I know some people will say mitered cut. Okay. There's that. Oh, see, I just messed that one up. Oh, that's all right. Nope, I didn't. Sorry. Take this out. Sometimes when you talk, when you're doing things, you mess up, or at least I mess up what I'm working on. Okay, so let's take this off. And that side. Snip. Snip. Okay. All right, and so this is where you're going to add your adhesive. So I'm going to flip this over. This is going to be the outside part of the box. Obviously, you can see by the way I've got it folded. You want to add adhesive to your 4 little tabs. And this is where like tear and tape might be a little bit easier because then you're not dealing with everything having adhesive all over it. But whatever way you prefer. And I'm going to flip these tabs up just a smidge so they don't sit flat. And then I'm going to add adhesive to the outside section on all 4 sides. Okay. Oh, I think that's empty. So let me just switch. All right, now you're going to take your tabs and you're going to push them into the edge of the box here. And that's where snipping those so that it's in an angle really helps when you're doing your double wall to have that sit evenly. So we put those all on the inside. Now I'm going to take these little flaps that we added the adhesive on and just push them down. Just like this. Okay. And I'm going to just go over it with my bone folder so they sit nice and flat. All right, and then that's one. So let's do the same thing with this. Let's flip this over, add adhesive to my outside tabs here. I think if I was putting something heavier inside the box, I would probably go with the Liquid Tombow multi-purpose or Fast Fuse. Woo! Haven't used that in a minute. The CL Plus, or even like the tear and tape. Something a little bit stronger, but I think this works out pretty good. So turn it over and then add to your inside edges here, making sure I'm getting edge to edge. Okay. Do the same thing. Put your little tabs inside. And this is where I've mentioned if you're using tear and tape, you're not getting the sticky spot here against your fingers. Okay. So now we'll tuck these down. And take the bone folder. Okay, so this is the bottom. You can see slightly smaller, just by a little bit of a hair. So this is your bottom, this is your top, and they fit really nicely. And just pull it apart. And there you go. So I'm gonna keep them in this order, top, bottom, and I'm gonna move them off to the side because now I wanna show you how I decorated these. So I am just adding adhesive to all my letters, sticking them to the center. And I already laid it out in the order that I need to help keep me from getting confused, which happens. So This doesn't really take long to put together. You know, obviously I'm explaining it, so have that to consider. So you may think, oh, well, this video is over 20 minutes, but it's really not. I think once you get it down, I think maybe 10 minutes per box. And you just keep going. And again, you could use your liquid adhesive on your letters. I think this stuff just worked just fine. Okay. And then I'm just going to continue with my gluing. So my lid is in the Balmy Blue. So I'm going to use this piece. And you can just kind of determine how you like your letters or your patterns to show up. So I think I'm going to put this plaid on the coastal. And you don't have to swap the cardstock colors. You could make this all, you know, in one solid color that matches the DSP that you're using. I just liked having it alternate. All right, so there are those two. Set that aside. And now we're just going to stamp really quick. I'm going to show you what I did for the greeting, because the happy birthday is one full stamp, and I don't want the birthday. So I'm going to put this on. And for the original one, I just did the color in black. But I think for this one, I'm going to use color. So I'm going to take out my Stampin' Write in Coastal Cabana and just color over the letters. I don't know if that one's working well. Let's test it. Yeah, that works good. Okay. I think it's just because there's so much staining from a darker shade. All right, so just go over, give it a little huff, and then stamp it straight down and happy. All right, and you could do the other one as well in the coastal for the Let's Celebrate or whatever wording that you have. I am just gonna use the ink pad as well. Oop. I like to make sure that it's got ink. Okay. All right. So now this one is going on this. So one suggestion I would have is this is the side, so the bottom of the box. This is the section that you would put a greeting on, or write, you know, a to so-and-so from you. It's easier to write on it when it's not attached. So if you weren't using this right away and you weren't writing out your greeting, I would wait before sticking this down and just adhere your cardstock to the DSP first. I'm not really worried about that, so I am going to adhere this down. But you can always add like a little sticky strip or tear and tape to the back side. Write your little greeting on the Whisper White. Oh my God, I'm saying everything wrong today. Basic white. And when you're ready to give this away, then take the backing off and stick it down on the cardstock. You would be able to do that either way. So now we're going to assemble our accordion here. So this is the side that I'm using. This is the reverse. which is fine too, but I preferred the lighter side. Okay, so the happy is going to go on this first fold. Not getting in the screen. All right, so I'm going to add my adhesive here and then just stick it down. Okay, let's celebrate. And stick that down. And I like to do that because I am going to be honest, I do make mistakes. Can you not tell? So when I was first playing around with this type of card, I put the B for birthday on the very first one, which you don't. You want to make sure you skip the first one because that's where your stamping is going to be, and then the rest of the word. And like I said, you can do however long as you want, as long as you keep your scored sections even. So if you needed to do like an extension for somebody's name, just cut the paper accordingly, and just keep attaching it the same way. So now let's put our letters on. So I turned these upside down. So birthday for the B. And just keep going. The nice thing too about the box is you could fit a gift card in there. You could give money or fold a check up. If you're giving this to a girl, you could fit some jewelry. So like I said, the box has a good depth to it. And there's definitely wiggle room to add more. And the nice thing is the sizes are adaptable. Like I said, if you need to go bigger or if you need to make less, it works. All right, last one. And then I'll show you how to complete it. Okay. All right, so let's fold this in. I'm going to add adhesive to the back side of the Y. And that's my bottom box. So now I'm going to take this and I'm just kind of eyeballing to make it even inside and then stick it down. And do the same thing on this side. And you have a little bit more room on the lid, which is fine. And stick it in. So there's your fold for your happy birthday. All right, so now I'm going to take some ribbon, and this is just some organdy ribbon I've had for a long time that I wanted to use up. So I'm just going to measure out a good amount so that I can tie a bow with no problem. And you want to make sure it's long enough so when somebody is like opening this and then they want to retie it, that they're not struggling with a little piece. So I'm going to add adhesive across the back just to hold the ribbon in place. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to take the Balmy Blue, add the adhesive to this. And that kind of holds it all nice in place there. Okay. Turn it over. Here's your top. And add the Coastal Cabana edge. And you could decorate the front of the box if you want to take it a step further. I just left it as is. I think it's pretty. So before you tie it, just to take another piece. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little project. I came across this on Pinterest by another demonstrator, and I'll insert her name in the description below because I don't remember off the top of my head what it was. I've been making this for a long time, but finally put a little video to show my projects. But there you go. Thank you so much.